What about some of the characters that did bowl to you? I mean, we're talking about the very best fast bowlers in the world after the last quarter of a century. Why don't we just go through a few names? What about your first tour against Pakistan, and then maybe Donald and McGrath and Warren, who reckons even today after you smashed him around in Sharjah that he has nightmares of you hitting him for six. I mean,
The first Test series was an important series because I was only 16 and I did not know at that time what I was facing against. I mean, you you talk about Imran Khan, world class bowler, Wasim Akram, amazing,
Great.
absolutely super, all time, one of the greatest bowlers to have played. Waqar Yunus, I would put him in the same league. Abdul Qadir again in the same league. So it was a world class attack, and I went out to bat in the first game, and straight from school cricket to one season of first class cricket, and then to play against the best bowling attack in the world. I was clueless. I had no idea. I was getting beaten by the pace. I'd never experienced someone bowl at 90-95 miles an hour, and I could actually see the ball, but while I was reacting, the ball was more towards the keeper and not closer to the keeper rather than it should be closer to me. But and I said, oh, this is a wrong place, and you got in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I got out. I got out on 15. While walking back, I somehow controlled my tears. I was only 16 then, so I was allowed to do all that. I went to the bathroom and I cried. And I looked at myself in the mirror, said, this level of cricket is not for you. You're not good enough to do all this. And I got about mirror, said, this level of cricket is not for you. You're not good enough to do all this. And fortunately, I got about 6 days in between. So I ended up speaking to a lot of the senior players in the team, the coach, and they all said that, you batted as if you were playing a school match. This is not a school match. You need to learn to give respect to these world-class bowlers. And you need to just hang around there, give yourself some time. And in the next match, I went out. I was just hoping that I get picked for the next game, which I was. And the next game, I decided not to look at the scoreboard. I said, the only time I'm looking in the direction of the scoreboard is to look at the clock, because I had decided my target was that I'm going to bat for half an hour, not worrying about runs. And after half an hour, I got used to that pace, and I said, I can deal with this pace. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. And that changed my thinking. I scored 59 in that test match. And from there on, I never doubted my ability. But the first match, I thought it was my first and the last one.
what about fear? What about fear in that one? You've been able to overcome a lot of pain during your career.
In fact, in the same series, in the fourth test match, we were in a bad position. In the second innings, we were 34 for 4 wickets down, and with a day and a half to go. So I got hit on my nose when I was batting on one. Later on, I realized that I had broken my nose. Everyone gathered, and then you know what happens when Pakistan team is around you. There are bound to be some comments, and Javed Miandad was a tricky customer, and then he said, "You've broken your nose. You can't be batting here. You have to go to the hospital." Knowing that one batsman goes to the hospital, there again they start to dominate.
Yeah.
And the doctor came. I iced my nose and I put a bandage and I continued batting. But that was again, I scored 58 in that match, and I batted for 4 more hours after that, which sort of helped us draw the series, because Pakistan had the most wonderful attack in the world. They were expected to thrash us 4-0, and to draw the series was kind of a which I got to know through English, guys. It was a moral victory for us. So, so I only learned that word towards the end of my career, but it means a lot. So it was kind of a moral victory for us, and we were able to draw. But I I became fearless after that.
Look, I think an interesting question here would be, you've had your highs and your lows and you've been absolutely magnificent right through. How does one get up off the deck when things aren't going well?
I would like to share one experience with you here. It's a funny story, but completely out of the box, which we hadn't tried, and it did wonders for our team. We were playing against New Zealand, and Chris Gaines was bowling. This was in India, in Mohali, so in your hometown. Uh, it was the ball was reverse swinging, and Chris Gaines was virtually beating us 2-3 times an over. I was batting with Rahul Dravid, so the main batters were batting. We'd like to believe that we were the main batters. And we were getting beaten, and we were sort of clueless because we couldn't see the shine. Sometimes the surfaces are such that it becomes a little difficult to figure out which side is the shiny side and which is the rough side. I expect all you guys to know what reverse swing is. Reverse swing is wherever the shiny side is, the ball starts to go in that direction. Even if the bowler wants the ball to go in the opposite direction, it will not go because of the imbalance and the surface of the ball. So Chris had started doing that. And I met with Rahul in the middle of the wicket, in the middle of the over. I said, I've got an idea. And he said, do you want to share it now or after the over? I said, I'll share with you after the over, but it can work. So Rahul said, okay, tell me now, what is your idea? I said to Rahul, I am closer to the bowler, and when he's walking back on the run-up, I need to stand here. When he's walking back onto his run-up, I would be watching him closely, and I'd be watching the ball. Which side is the shiny side and which side is the rough side? So Rahul said, then what happens after that? I said, whichever side is the shiny side, I will hold the bat in that hand. If he's going to bowl an outswinger, the bat is going to be in my left hand. If he's bowling in swinger, the bat is in my right hand at the non-striker's end. So that's the only time in my career when the batsman is ready to face the ball. He's not watching the bowler, he's watching the bat in my hand. So he's
very good.
So Rahul is watching me, and suddenly, you see a couple of cover drives being hit for boundaries, and on drives passing, piercing mid wicket and mid on. And Chris is like wondering. These guys were getting beaten a couple of times every over, and suddenly I'm giving away a couple of boundaries. There's definitely something wrong. So all the fielders were watching me because I was, watching Chris and not Rahul. And normally, no batsman stands facing the bowler. He would be like facing the other batter. And then I would quickly change the bat. And by then, they had sort of figured out that there is something fishy. And Chris lost his momentum. He lost his rhythm. And he held the ball cross seam. And he bowled the ball. And instead of, looking at Rahul or checking what has happened there, he looks at me and I said, what have you got for this? Chris didn't realize that I had also warned Rahul that if I don't know what is coming, I'm going to hold the bat in the middle. So that is how the story goes. So it's just, in short, it's just being a step ahead of your opposition.
Sachin, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an outstanding night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.